Good morning and happy holiday weekend. It's Saturday morning, July 2nd, 2022. Last night I did a TGIFF. I hope you saw it. And as I mentioned, I got a lot of stuff going on this weekend, so not going to cook on today's show. Today's going to be a little bit of a sentimental, emotional show for me. You'll find out in a minute. But in the meanwhile, as I said in last night's TGIFF, I have a lot going on. I got a nice dinner invite tonight, and I know this person who's cooking, so I am pumped and looking forward to it. Tomorrow I got a hike at Minnewaska, so I want to get a show up. In fact, it's such an intense weekend, I made my old list sitting down at lunchtime yesterday. I find if I write up a list of what I want to accomplish, even if I don't get them all done, it lowers the stress level. And I love lists because I love crossing stuff off. Let's see. Prune, mock orange, and fir by Barn. Well, I did prune the mock orange tree yesterday. I did not get the fir tree done, but I did one of the forsythia. So that helps. So cross that off. Laundry. Laundry's in. I don't know if the mic's picking it up. I can hear the washing machine pumping away. I don't know if this little microphone's grabbing it. What else we got here? Mow, that, as I mentioned last night, that's happening Monday. Looking like good weather for mowing. And then hill up the potatoes with the grass in the bag. Feed, garden, hoe, mulch, that's going down today. I wrote mow twice. Mow, weed whack. Okay, redundancy. Garage, I put small dent. My garage is a freaking nightmare. I'm just going to try to clear it out over the entire course of the summer right into autumn. It becomes the winter wonderland of housing stuff that I don't know what else to do with. Time to deal with that. Clothes closets, another clutter zone. I took all the clothes out of my closet in the bedroom. They're all on the bed, and I'm going back to my old pal, Marie Kondo. And I'm going to go one by one through every article of clothing. Does this bring me joy? All right. Because in an uncharacteristic move, I've actually been outfitting myself with some new articles of clothing. That's highly unusual. Clean out the chicken coop. Got some new pine shavings, waiting for that. Always a great boon to the compost. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll probably happen today. We got some beautiful rain overnight, by the way. Little thunderstorms in the middle of the night. You could hear them, but they didn't come right over the house. So they weren't disturbing, but I could hear that nice soaking rain just going right into those tomato, pepper, eggplant roots. All right, so that's about it. Get beverage for the dinner. I did that yesterday on the way home. Never show up empty-handed. I'm going to bring those spritzers that we did last night. It was so enjoyable. I'm going to bring that to the dinner. This way I can have a few cocktails and socialize without getting a buzz on before driving home, right? All right, let's get to today's show. As I said, it's going to be a little bit emotional. I'm sitting here in the dining room. Now, if you go back and watch, or if you did watch episode 67 entitled For Her, I barely mentioned her name. I think I flashed it on the screen. At the end, it was for the unbelievable Minerva, okay? Laura brought this kitten home at 9 weeks old. Size of a tennis ball. I'm not even exaggerating. Little calico thing. And 3 days after she brought it home, she said to me, "You realize that's your cat, right?" I didn't know. I had no pets. She knew about the whole bonding thing, which was foreign to me. 3 days. You realize that's your cat, right? Oh, I realized it for the next almost 18 years. And then back in April, she died laying on my chest on that couch. I had an appointment the next day for euthanasia. We did have another cat, the great Mooch, who was euthanized. And if anyone's had to go through that, I don't recommend it. But sometimes when you see that suffering so deeply, there's no other choice. But Minerva, I think she did me the greatest solid ever. And I told her, I said, you can go. It's okay. If it's time to go, you can go. And she did. She took a few breaths right on top of me. So anyway, that was a rough one for me. I don't have children, okay? I had Minerva, I have Beatrice, and as happened with the mooch, those of you who have lost pets are going to understand this part. They're never really fully gone, all right? So I, of course, I'm still grieving a little. It was only a couple of months ago, but everyone grieves in their own way, okay? We all have our own way of dealing with these types of traumas, loss and whatever. So mine is do heavy ritual, ceremonial practices that I just do for myself. Okay, for her, I think at the end you'll see there's a gravestone with her name carved in it, and it's at a spot where she would go out and sit every night. There's this big rock behind the barn, and she would sit there every night. Most nights I had to go out and fetch her. Are you on your rock? Are you on your rock? Walking through the darkness with a flashlight and seeing those little green eyes in the distance, just sitting like a statue on this rock. So she's underneath that rock. Okay, little ceremonial, reptilian brain type of things that I do to help my heart, help me deal. Okay, so I'm going to do one of those today. All right, because what happened was I'm sitting here in the dining room. Let me grab this camera. Minerva used to eat right here on top of this little Chinese looking chest that my sister Little Chile gave me. And it was mom's, so it's one of those type of family things. And I house CDs and stuff like that inside there. But on top, I had Minerva's little food, water bowls. There's one. And what I did was I kept the bowls here, put these little, rooted these little spider plant babies from the big one upstairs, and these bowls are not going anywhere, all right? She would jump up here. I had the stairs here. So in remembrance to Minerva, those bowls remain. Now, here's what happened. I came down the other morning, and, you know, I still, almost 3 months later, still look over here, almost expecting her to be sitting on that thing looking at me, waiting to get the food bowl filled. Well, I came down and I forgot all about it, and then I realized my sister had also given me that. Let me get it. Bring it over here. She gave me this many years ago, and it's a little ceramic container. It says meow, and it houses the dried food. Now this was prescription food. She had kidney issues, so this was her prescription dried. She had the wet cans of the KD formula for her kidneys. But I would buy the big bags of this kibble from the vet, and I kept the bag in an airtight container, and then I would fill just enough on here so if I came down I could just spill it into her bowl. And I didn't even know this existed. 2 months later I came down, and when I opened this and saw the food, to quote the great Mike Myers, I got a little verklempt, okay? So, what am I going to do with this food? I already I gave Bill, for his elderly cat, all the Catago, flea and tick, stuff costs an arm and a leg. I actually tried to sell it on Facebook Marketplace. People might be squeamish about buying, medicines on there, but it's perfectly good. It's pretty new, but I gave it to Bill. This food, there's not much I can do with it. It's been sitting in this thing for months. So here's what I'm going to do. A little ceremonial. A little something for my soul. I thought, well, there's this one black and white cat now that's in the yard all the time. See, these neighbors, they don't spay, they don't neuter. Let this be a lesson to you. And there's all kinds of cats running around. And honestly, I don't know if they're being properly fed. Now, I don't want to adopt another one right now. I'm not ruling it out in the future. But I'm thinking maybe I'll put a little of this in a little tin out by the road, because this cat's always in the yard and then runs away as soon as I come out the back door. So I might give it a little treat. I know. Then it's going to be here all the time. That's okay. That's all right. I won't adopt it, but I can put stuff out by the road. But what I'm going to do with most of this is we're going to go out and we're going to have a little scatter session right around Minerva's stone. And guess who's going to snatch it up? Like Captain Crunch breakfast cereal in the morning when I was 8 years old. You know it. Those crazy birds. Come on, let's do it. Come on, let's do it. right, here we are. As I mentioned, this was her favorite spot in the entire property. Just sitting on top of that rock, straight upright like a little statue. So she's underneath. She's not that deep because there's tree roots here. So I put this other big stone. We had that rain last night, so you can't really read it too well. But it says Minerva. Yes, and I say hello to her every time I come back here to the coop. I know it's crazy. Look how much I care what you guys think of me. Now, what we're going to do is this. Let's see what they think of cat food. It's certainly high protein. Oh, yeah. Go on, girlies. That was Minerva's. What do you think of that? Not going to give them a lot. It's foreign food substance for them, but it is protein. So there we go. I just gave them a little bit. Most of this is going to go, I think, to that black and white cat out front and whoever else wants to come around. I'm not going to put it in the yard. I'm going to put it well outside the yard, but it beats dumping it in the compost. So there we go. A little ceremony for the late, great Minerva. She was freaking amazing. So there we go. It felt good. Felt weird, but good, because I knew I was doing it for her. So those are the little things that help me with grieving and, you know, surmounting little travails in life and whatnot. Just ceremony, remembrance, ritual. Helps me, may not help you. So I guess that was kind of a food show in a way, right? But we'll get back to cooking next weekend. This dinner tonight. Ooh, I'm not even going to tell you what it is. So right now I'm going to pour myself another cup of joe. You just saw those beautiful birds. I'm going to have a little omelet, 2-egg omelet with some roasted red pepper, tomato, mozzarella, and maybe a little bit of basil inside there. And that'll get my day going. I got that whole list. And it's a holiday weekend, Monday off. I know, a lot of you are retired. Lucky you. And by the way, again, I was supposed to go and get this mop chopped off this morning. I didn't get around to it. It's going to have to wait till next week. So I spared you guys with my brand new hat, which I love. Thank you, The Squeeze. Yes. Imagine. From her new perch at the Central Park Conservancy. Congratulations, Squeezy, and thank you for the amazing gifts. So that's it for this week's Come On, Let's Do It. We'll be back with some sort of recipe next week. I don't know what. So off for the holiday weekend. Lots to get done, lots of laughing, lots of eating, a little bit of imbibing. Come on, let's do it. Come on, let's do it.